Success is not given. It is rented, and the rent is due every single day. Not once, not when you feel like it, not when it's easy or convenient or trending on social media. Every single day. You say you want success, but what do you really mean by that? Do you mean comfort, validation, recognition? Because that's not success. Success is earned in silence and paid for in solitude. It's carved from your discipline, your pain, your failures, and your refusal to stay down when life breaks you. The truth, you don't get what you want in this world. You get what you're willing to sacrifice for. You say you want to build something legendary, but legends are built in the dark, when no one is watching, when it hurts, when quitting would be so easy it almost feels logical. Success is not a reward for the interested. It is a consequence of the obsessed. And that obsession, it comes with a price. The first price you pay is belief. Not surface belief, not Instagram belief, not quote on your wall belief, but bone deep, no plan B belief. The kind of belief that gets you up at 4:30 when no one's clapping. The kind that stares failure in the face and says, I'm not done. That belief, it doesn't come cheap. It costs you your excuses. It demands that you burn the bridge back to your comfort zone. You can't dip your toes in belief. You drown in it. You saturate your mind until it bleeds certainty. Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. That wasn't motivational fluff. It was a warning, because your mind is the first battlefield. And if you lose there, you lose everywhere else. So build it, fortify it, starve it of doubt, and feed it with vision. Train your thoughts like an elite athlete trains their body. Success starts when you decide that your mind is a weapon, not a prison. But that decision is just the beginning. The next toll on the road to success is clarity. Most people drift because they never define what they're chasing. You can't hit a target you haven't identified, and you'll never climb a mountain you're not even looking at. Andrew Carnegie didn't build steel empires by accident. Walt Disney didn't stumble into magic. They saw it long before the world did. Clarity is a cost. It demands time. It demands brutal honesty. It forces you to strip away every false identity the world has placed on you and confront the truth of who you really are. Because if your vision isn't clear, someone else will hire you to build theirs. Don't you dare let this world define your limits. Don't you dare let temporary circumstances blur permanent potential. Success requires vision, not just sight. Sight sees what is. Vision sees what could be. And those who move with vision, they move like giants. They move like storms. They bend the laws of reality because they've already lived it in their mind 1,000 times before it happens. But vision alone won't carry you. It must be tied to something deeper, a reason. Purpose is the engine. Without it, every setback will destroy you. With it, every obstacle becomes fuel. Your purpose is the anchor in the chaos. It's the voice that whispers, keep going, when every voice around you is screaming, give up. Abraham Lincoln's purpose wasn't to win elections. It was to hold a broken nation together. Edison's purpose wasn't just to invent. It was to illuminate the world. When purpose becomes personal, giving up is no longer an option. But make no mistake, purpose is expensive. It costs you your distractions. It costs you the luxury of living on autopilot. It demands that you stop living for the weekend and start living for the mission. You will lose friends who don't understand it. You will feel alone in rooms that used to feel familiar. You will be misunderstood, mocked, even laughed at, until you're envied. Purpose doesn't ask for your convenience. It asks for your life. And if you won't give your life to something bigger than you, then what are you living for? This is not about motivation. This is about becoming something immortal through your work. But none of it matters without discipline. Discipline is the great separator. Every average life is built on feelings. Every exceptional life is built on principles. You won't feel like showing up. You won't feel like doing the hard thing. But success doesn't care about your feelings. It only responds to action. Napoleon Hill said, persistence is to the character of man as carbon is to steel. You don't become steel without pressure, without heat, without time, without grinding repetition. You want freedom. Discipline is the door. You want respect. Discipline is the currency. You want impact. Discipline is the foundation. And make no mistake, discipline will cost you. It'll cost you the illusion of ease. It'll cost you the comfort of excuses. It will demand early mornings, lonely nights, and relentless focus, while others waste years chasing distractions dressed up as balance. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation from the prison of regret, because the pain of discipline is temporary, but the pain of what if lasts forever. So pay the price now, or pay in regret later. But either way, you will pay. Knowledge means nothing without execution. Ideas are cheap. Everyone has them. It's those who act on them relentlessly, obsessively, and without apology who rise. Do you want to know why most people never taste greatness? Because they spend their lives preparing, but never starting. They wait for the perfect moment, the right timing, the stars to align. But success doesn't show up for the prepared. It shows up for the bold. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times trying to invent the light bulb. Not because he was smarter, not because he had better tools, but because he moved. He acted. He kept striking the stone until it cracked. The world doesn't move for those who hesitate. It moves for those who push, pivot, and press forward, even when they're afraid, especially when they're afraid. Action is the fire. It forges clarity, builds confidence, and makes the dream real. But the price of action? It costs you your perfectionism. It demands you risk embarrassment, failure, ridicule, all in the name of movement. But motion is the great teacher. And once you start moving, the universe starts bending. Doors open. People show up. Momentum builds. But it all starts with that terrifying, powerful first step. So take it. Take the leap, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, because inaction will bury you faster than failure ever will. In the race for success, most forget the fuel that sustains the soul. Gratitude. Gratitude isn't weakness. It's strength. It's the foundation that keeps you grounded when storms hit and critics bark. You think Carnegie wasn't grateful for his rise from nothing? You think Lincoln wasn't humbled by every breath he took after tragedy? They understood something most never will. That power without humility is a ticking time bomb. Gratitude makes you dangerous, because when you appreciate what you have, you stop needing validation. You stop chasing applause and start building legacy. Gratitude unlocks abundance, because when your eyes are fixed on what's working, your energy multiplies. You rise above bitterness. You rise above comparison. You rise above fear. But gratitude, too, has a price. It demands that you stop blaming. It demands that you own every piece of your life, the good, the brutal, and the hard-earned. No more victim stories. No more if only. The moment you trade blame for ownership, the game changes, because then, and only then, you become unstoppable. Success is not a straight line. It twists, breaks, and doubles back on itself. Those who cling to the path they planned will die on it. Adaptability is survival. Those who rise are not always the strongest. They're the most flexible. Charles Darwin said it, blunt and cold. It is not the strongest of the species that survives, but the one most responsive to change. You will be tested. Your plans will collapse. People you trust will walk away. You will hit walls so high they make you question your entire existence. But if you can bend without breaking, if you can evolve in real time, you will dominate. Change is not your enemy. It is your greatest ally, if you let it refine you instead of define you. But adaptability costs pride. It costs rigidity. It forces you to kill your ego and admit, what got me here won't get me there. Most won't. Most will cling to the familiar until it strangles their growth. But not you, because you weren't built to stay the same. You were built to transform. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. You will fall. You will fail. You will question everything. You will scream into your pillow. You will stare at your ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering if any of it is worth it. You will want to walk away more times than you can count. But those moments, those exact moments, are where greatness is forged. Not in the applause, not in the spotlight, in the silence, in the struggle, in the decision to rise again. Every setback is a test. Every failure is a teacher. Every rejection is redirection. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Oprah was told she wasn't fit for television. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. They didn't quit. They endured, because resilience is not about avoiding the storm. It's about learning to dance in the rain. And that dance, it costs you your comfort. It costs you your need for constant reassurance. It demands you stand up when your legs are shaking, when your heart is broken, when your mind says no and your spirit says go. You don't get to choose the obstacles. You only get to choose if they break you or build you. And every time you get up, you collect a new piece of power. If you want to rise, you must remain a student forever. Ego kills more dreams than failure ever could. The moment you think you've arrived, you begin to die. Because success isn't a destination, it's a discipline. Andrew Carnegie, with all his wealth, kept learning until his final breath. Da Vinci filled thousands of pages with questions, not answers. Einstein said, I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. That's the game. Not to look smart, not to feel above others, but to grow daily, relentlessly, even painfully. You must unlearn what no longer serves you. You must be willing to be wrong, to be humbled, to be rebuilt. You must seek out the brutal feedback others avoid, because only those who confront the truth can transform by it. Mastery demands obsession. It demands repetition. It demands that you go deeper than others are willing to go. Everyone wants to be great until they see what greatness costs. It costs boredom. It costs late nights. It costs the endless, invisible work behind the scenes. But let them sleep. Let them scroll. Let them waste time they'll never get back, while you sharpen your blade, while you study the patterns, while you build what others only talk about. Because when the moment comes, the one that separates amateurs from legends, it's the learned, the practiced, the obsessed who rise. There will be moments when logic fails you, when reason can't explain why you should keep going, when all the evidence screams, stop. And in those moments, only one thing will carry you: faith. Faith is not fantasy. It's fire. It's the invisible force that turns dreams into plans and plans into reality. Napoleon Hill called it the eternal elixir, the thing that makes all else possible. He wrote of faith not as blind hope, but as a state of mind you must train, feed, and live inside. Faith costs you your need for control. It asks that you believe in things you haven't yet seen. It dares you to act as if the world is already bending to your will, even when nothing everything around you agrees. And here's the secret. When you move with that kind of conviction, life starts to shift. People show up. Resources appear. The impossible begins to tremble. Not because magic happened, but because you happened. You became the person worthy of the dream. You didn't wait for the light. You became it. And once you understand that, once you realize that your belief is the switch and you are the circuit, there is nothing outside of you that can stop what's inside of you. The clock is ticking, not metaphorically, literally. You don't have forever, and that should ignite you, not scare you, because time is the great equalizer. We don't all start with the same money. We don't all start with the same support, education, or privilege, but we all start with the same 24 hours. The difference is in how you spend it. Will you waste it living someone else's life, scrolling through illusions, drowning in distractions, or will you use it to build, to create something that echoes after you're gone? When you understand your time is finite, you stop playing small. You stop living in delay. You stop being available to things that drain your soul. And suddenly, every moment becomes precious. Every decision becomes purposeful. Every day becomes a brick in your legacy. Steve Jobs said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." That's not morbid. That's freedom. Because once you accept the truth of death, you finally start to live. You weren't born to be average. You weren't meant to live and die in silence. You were made to shake the world. The question is not, can you succeed? It's, are you willing to pay the price for greatness? Because success demands everything. Your focus, your belief, your time, your pain, your effort. It will take your sleep, your comfort, your fears, and in return, it will give you power. Power to choose your path. Power to inspire others. Power to leave something behind that matters. That's legacy. That's immortality. That's why we're here. To take the fire that burns inside us and light the path for others who come after. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will support you. But that's the point. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be unforgettable. So rise. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Stop waiting. Start paying. Put everything on the table. Every dream. Every ounce of belief. Every act of courage. Because success doesn't respond to lukewarm effort. It bows to the relentless, to the focused, to the ones who refuse to die with their potential still inside them. So write the book. Launch the business. Take the risk. Burn the excuses. Live the damn dream. Yes, it will cost you, but mediocrity costs more. And regret is the most expensive debt you'll ever carry. So pay the price now. Pay it in sweat. Pay it in sacrifice. Pay it in fire. Because the gates to greatness are locked behind one word: commitment. And the key is in your hand. Success demands a price, so pay it in full.